Alrighty. The last recording of the part was over a 2-hour duration. There wasn't really anything important worth other than this whole, like, a long ongoing battle. Erica taking on the siege against the Golden Land, and then meanwhile the fight between Lambdadelta and Burnt Castle. I mean, as what the stream title was said, will the Umineko gravy train ever end? Find out! Anyway, let's continue. The battlefield full of writhing goats became a fiery hell. Yeah. A cannonball smashed the arbor. The once beautiful garden maze was burned down bit by bit, and the fleeing gold butterflies were wrapped in flames, burning into nothingness like little scraps of paper. Wow. It's crazy. That poor gazebo getting destroyed in the background. Wait, am I on the right track here in this recording? Yeah, I am. This was no longer a battlefield where two sides fought for victory. It was just a confused, hellish pot of boiling water. The Golden Land was being torn apart. The once beautiful rose garden was filled with explosion craters, and its rose petals were scattered about without pity. There were flying bits of flesh, blood, fangs, jaws, shrieks, and half-crazed screams. And even amidst this hellish swirl, the goats and the dead continued to fight. As seen from atop the boats, this was hell, without a doubt. When Erica yelled, the goats on the boats ran around frantically, and one by one, massive anchors hanging by chains were thrown from the ship's bows down into the earth below. Those anchors smashed through not only the ground, but the bottom of the Golden Land itself, digging in with their wedge-shaped tips. Beatrice, oh, I'm surprised she's still alive. After all the cannonballs. Beatrice landed on the front tip of the warship, facing off against Erica, who stood on the bow. Beato jabbed with her pipe. Jabbed. It transformed into a beautifully intricate golden longsword. Whoa! She turned her smoking pipe into a longsword? It's crazy. Erica threw her scythe up into the air. Oh, now it turned into... What the fuck? That's just... Okay. What the fuck, dude? Okay, dude. That's just wild to me. When it returned to her hand, it had become a sword similar to Beato's. I thought it was going to be sword versus scythe, but I guess not. The nearby goats crowded around Erica, trying to support her. 無用です。それよりお前たちは怒りの巻き上げを。 Yeah. Well, that's what they said.
黄金鏡を根元から引き裂いて粉々にしてしまいなさい。
Aye, aye, sir. What the fuck? This is some piracy involved. The goats bowed and rushed to their posts. Several dozen ships had lowered their anchors, digging into the base of the Golden Land. Soon they were going to try and pull them up, tearing the Golden Land to pieces. Huh. This new CG right here.
貴様に我が最後の決闘の名誉くれてやる。
Beato raised her sword, bowed in the ancient fashion, and waited for her opponent. Erica kicked off her shoes violently and slowly walked up to the tip of the boat barefoot. Then, in accordance with Beato's rules, she bowed back. It was a duel on the prow of a ship that pierced the sky. Below, the crowd of goats was being blasted away by the indiscriminate cannonballs, burned up and crushed in the panorama of this world's end. By now, it would be stupid to wonder whether anyone from the Ushiromiya family was still alright. Yes, it truly was the end of this world. The end of the Golden Land. Ground to dust, filled with flames. The Golden Rose Garden was burning spectacularly, with bits of fire and golden splashes flying about. The ground creaked as fissures ran through it, through to the base of the Golden Land. All of the ships started pulling up their anchors at once. Crowds of mighty goats used all of their monstrous strength to lift them. The anchors that dug into the Golden Land's base spread cracks throughout the entire Golden Land. Not just the ground, but the air itself was filled with cracks, and shards of gold fell down everywhere. The Golden Land's end was adorned with the flames of hell and streaking gold fragments, with fiery red and ephemeral gold. Hope I got that right. Atop the boat's prow, Beato and Erica looked down at this, their swords crossed and sparks flying between them.
すごい光景じゃないですか。ふさわしいと思いませんか。あんたの物語の終章に。黄金鏡は終わるだろう。わらわも果てるだろう。だが我らが確かにここにあった事実は誰にも消せぬ。エンジェは至った。未来の魔女は使命と希望を持ち、もうじき旅立つだろう。すでに我らは成し遂げている。あいにくだな、フルドエリカ。この戦、すでにわらわたちが勝利しているわ。
This was a duel between the master of the illusion called the Golden Land and the witch who controlled truth. The earth split behind them. The Golden Land was torn up. The cat box known as the Golden Land was ripped apart, and the nothingness below peeked out through the cracks. The scrambling crowd of goats fell through the gaps and were swallowed by the sea of nothingness. Beato's friends were among them. They helped each other, lent a hand to each other, unwilling to sacrifice anyone until the final moment. Still, what a romantic and fragile illusion is the end of the world. This might as well be doomsday at this point. The ground shattered and sank. It fell apart into the ocean of nothingness. None could survive. None could be saved. This was destruction. As the comrades in arms fell into the sea of nothingness, they looked up one last time and prayed. They prayed that the master of the Golden Land would leave proof that the Golden Land had indeed existed. However, Beato didn't look down at them. They wouldn't have wanted her to.
こここそは我らが黄金鏡無限と黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェここにあり我らは知れどそれは敗北にあらずそなたが生き証人となれその胸にわらわの切っ先にて我らの証刻みつけてくれようぞ
さようならベアトリーチェこのクソったれな無限ゲームもこれでおしまいです地獄へ落ちろこの幻が
Well, that took a way longer while for the Golden Lands battle to conclude right there. Although I don't know about Lambdadelta and Burnt Castle though. I think that should get dragged on, bro. If you ask me. Alright, hold on. I gotta turn off the lights. Let it. Anyway, Lambdadelta and Burnt Castle's fight to the death had passed through its phase as a dynamic clash of fireworks, and was now a clash that was quiet and motionless. These two witches who possessed power on an entirely different level may have been truly equal in strength. The battle could only be resolved by mutual consent if one of them lost interest or found some reason for wanting to lose. Since both were putting their all into the fight without yielding a bit, they were absolutely and completely equal.
Lambdadelta あんたが味方でよかったわ
くそもう少しなんだ早く砂になっちまえふざけた魔法人め
I know, right? It has been over 3 hours worth of me reading through the endless battle on this one. Battler got irritated and punched the magic circle, but there was nothing he could do except continue to watch over it. After all, the only way to dissolve it was by waiting. But I don't like the waiting game. However, the pair of them still felt relief, if only a little. Lambdadelta really was strong. Even in a battle this spectacular, she fought on an even footing. Now, if you considered how confident each side looked, she seemed to have a slight advantage in Battler's eyes. She would probably manage to buy them enough time. Angie would take the key and return to the Golden Land. They just had to endure a bit longer. However, they had no way of knowing what Lambdadelta's fate would be after this. She had disobeyed the Senate, the highest level witches in existence. Something brutal probably awaited her. However, even knowing this, Angie had to step forward into the future without looking back. That was the single duty given to her, the witch of the future.
お兄ちゃんあれは何遥か向こうから何か近づいてくるわ
Oh shit. It's end of the line for us.
まずいぞまさか敵の増援か
Lambdadelta and Burnt-Castle were glaring at each other, so they didn't notice. Heading towards them from the distance were several emerald green glints. That light proved that they were enemies.
でもほんの数匹だけだわ。あの程度ならラムダデルタの敵じゃない。
Even then, all of the cats so far seemed like fish in a school, giving the impression that they'd be terrifying as a group, but not much of a problem by themselves. However, there was something different about the lights approaching them now. They were approaching in a beautiful, ordered formation like a constellation. Battler quickly realized that this was something new.
我が巫女よ。
Oh shit. Well, we've been found out by Featherine out of all people. God damn it.
そろそろ鍵の準備が必要な時間ではなかったか？
Oh, this'll be fun. Just by her tone, Battler was able to tell how great a witch this was. The black cats that surrounded her in a graceful and systematic constellation were all wearing large capes with elegant designs. It looked as though great overlords from many worlds had been transformed into cats, leaving only their capes untouched. What Battler imagined was quite true. That was exactly what had happened. These were the overlords from many worlds that formed the Featherine's personal guard. Their bodies took the form of cats merely as a sign of respect to their master, who took the form of a human. These were entirely different from the pack of wild cats that served Burnt Castle.
アウアウローラ。
Oh my god.
あら、もうそんな時間だったの？客を多少待たすのもまたパーティーのもてなし方の一つではある。私はあまり好まぬのだがな。
As she said this, her eyes flicked to Lambdadelta. The latter bowed hurriedly. Though Lambdadelta grinned, she was also sweating, her brow furrowed with tension. Well, it's ended a line for her too.
久しぶりであるな、ラムダデルタ卿。ご機嫌うるわしゅう、ダイアウローラ卿。ここは今日をもてなすにふさわしい場所ではない。会場への道を間違えられたか？ならば私が自らパーティー会場にご案内しよう。それは光栄ですわ、ダイアウローラ卿。
At least Lambda can actually pronounce Aurora and not Burnt Castle. Featherine Augustus Aurora, the legendary Great Witch. It is said that she surpassed the level of witches, becoming a creator, and that upon reaching this forbidden plane, she was cursed with a deadly ailment. Oh no, cursed by a deadly ailment. However, in life, she once turned her pet cat into a witch. They say that this second witch wanders the sea of fragments endlessly, searching for any fragment that can revive her master from the pits of death, called boredom, if only for a moment. And so, the cat revived her master, revived the sacred witch who had reached heights none should reach. Just as witches look down at and mock humans from a higher world, calling them pieces on the game board. So she looks down at and mocks the realm of witches from an even higher world, calling them pieces on the game board. If a witch's strength is measured by the height of the world they are capable of reaching, then she was like a witch come back. She was like a witch come back from the realm of the gods, one who had touched the highest forbidden heights and survived. Was there any chance of winning against her? No. Lambdadelta was unable to choose either victory or defeat by her own will.
我が巫女よ。友人と戯れるのは後にして、今は仕事をしてくれぬか。鍵の準備をせよ。わかったわ。
Uh-oh.
途中でお使いを忘れてしまう天真爛漫さも猫の魅力である。そうは思わぬか、ラムダデルタ卿。
Lambdadelta didn't say anything but hung her head low. From this position, it seemed that the key's seal would dissolve at any second. However, Burncastle would probably find Battler and Angie before that. Once they got their hands on the key, they would leave this place immediately. Of course, this was assuming that they did so before Burncastle and Featherine found them. Burncastle mustn't be allowed to move from this spot.
ゲームセットね、ラムダ。私は大アウローラ教の巫女よ。感激の魔女は朗読の巫女に保護を与えることを忘れてはいないわよね。
Lambdadelta still stood slumped over without answering. The Witch of Theater Going gave protection to her reader, Miko's. If Lambdadelta attacked Burncastle, who was Aurora's Miko, then the Great Witch Aurora would follow her contract, prevent what she considered an attack against herself, and respond accordingly.
取引しましょう。何をよ。バトラはどこに隠れてるの？素直に白状したらすべて水に流してあげるわ。
You gotta stall this.
奇跡の魔女のあんたがバトラごとき小さな駒を恐れるの？奇跡の魔女だからこそよ。
Yeah, sure.
あんな小石のようなやつでも起こす奇跡があることを私は侮らないの。
I mean, creating a miracle is like a pebble to a giant-ass meteor, so...
その小石が今
That's the chances that you'll ever get, so...
もう一度聞くわ。バトラはどこ？
The small little battler is right above the ceiling.
残念よ、ラムダ。それが返事のようね。
Burncastle turned her back on Lambdadelta. Then she told her master that she was leaving to prepare the key, and she started swimming towards the key room. If I let her go any further, she'll find Battler and Angie. Battler readied himself. This time, it was his turn to become a sacrifice. Even though he was nothing more than a single pebble, he could still put out an eye. A candy firework exploded right in front of Burncastle.
ラムダ。あんたは本当にバカだわ。
ラムダデルタ。
やっちゃったわ。
She's like, oops.
バトラー、エンジェル、あとは頑張りなさいよ。
The cat overlords changed their formation, becoming a ferocious constellation that surrounded Featherine. Then, each drew the most terrifying of magic circles from their respective worlds and began to chant.
私は少し混乱している。我が巫女よ、そしてラムダデルタ教よ。これはどういう余興なのか。ラムダは私が鍵を取りに行くのを邪魔したいみたいよ。ほう、それはどういう意味なのか。
Now Featherine is in wonder.
その意味がわかんないなら。
He's like, you know what? It's gonna be one of her ways. Gonna stall for time.
フェザリーヌ、あんたちょっと酔っ払ってるんじゃない？酔いざましが必要なんじゃないかしら。
Lambdadelta bluffed as well as she could. Her fingertips were shaking slightly.
巫女への攻撃は主への攻撃とみなす。そなたも知らぬわけではあるまい。知ってるわ。そのルールによると、私はあんたたちとやっぱり戦わなくちゃならないわけだわ。ほう、私の巫女がそなたの巫女に失礼をしたか。
Maybe.
ならば詫びよう。
There is no apology. The only way to, in response, is to stall for time.
しかし教えてはくれぬか。今はそなたは巫女を持たぬはず。そなたにはいつの間に巫女がいたというのか。それがね、いっぱいいるのよ。30人か40人くらい。もっといるかしら。
That's quite a lot. But where?
このラムダデルタ、相手が誰だろうと巫女に売られた喧嘩は全部買い取っちゃうんだからね。そいつらはみんな絶対のハッピーエンドを信じてる。
Oh wait. When you said 30, you mean like the allies you have within this game board.
この絶対の魔女が
Maybe.
そんな絶対を信じて頑張ってる連中をね、見捨てられるわけがないでしょ。そなたの物語も嫌いではない。
See? Well, you don't disagree with that at all.
我が感激に値する。しかし今の私は感激者でなく出演者である。我が巫女の親友であることを知るから一度だけ忠告する。
Okay, alright. Give it to me then.
この舞台を降りるがよい。
Remove myself?
我が観覧席にそなたのための特別な席を設けさせよう。
Excuse me.
あんたの物語と私が感激してる物語のどちらが面白いか考えているわ。答えを聞こうぞ。バトラたちの物語の方が100倍面白いわ。悪いけど今年の助演女優賞は私がもらっとくわ。
She's like, you know what? I refuse. I should be the one getting one of the Oscar awards.
あんたたち
最後の人気投票は私に入れなさいよ。最低でもトップ5よ。いいわね。
That's a one hell of a way. Another thing for Lambda to break the fourth wall.
どこ見て言ってんのよ。
Even Burn Castle doesn't even know what. As Lambdadelta pretended to joke around, she calmly focused on the one weak point she could see. If she had a chance for a single attack, then a 1 in a billion shot at victory existed. It was that horseshoe-shaped memory device floating around Featherine's head. Without that, she couldn't preserve her own existence. Destroying it was impossible. But if Lambdadelta could just jar it enough, she might be able to make it bug out. At least once in the past, Featherine's memory device had been damaged, and her personality and appearance had changed. However, she was aware of that herself and probably wouldn't let that happen again, no matter what.
よかろう、ラムダデルタ卿。そなたの脚本が準備できたならいつでも参られるがよい。
脚本なんて簡単よ。たった1行。華麗でキュートなラムダデルタ様が悪の黒幕アウアウローラを一撃でぶっ倒す。
That's some bragging rights right there.
愚かなラムダ。そこまであなたが愚かとは思わなかったわ。
You say that, but in dialogue says that she found one weak point. So.
猫たちは手出し無用。ラムダデルタ教より献上されるこの勇敢なる物語に対し、私自らが褒美を取らせよう。勇敢なるそなたにふさわしい物語と結末を褒美に取らせる。
フェザリーヌ・アウグストゥスアウアウローラ。
Oh wow. Beautiful. Lambdadelta summoned the magical power from her whole body and raised it in a mass above her head.
すまぬわ。
Then the world's time stopped.
そなたの脚本は採用しない。
Oh shit. She stopped the time. What the fuck?
なぜなら。
Rather than time stopping, it was more like the flipping pages of a book had stopped. In this motionless world, closely packed letters appeared.
この先の脚本を記すのは私であるからだ。
Oh no. Alright. I forgot. Considering Featherine takes in the alias of a Hachijo, it was a tale that had been written up to this very moment. Featherine Augustus Aurora. Lambdadelta summoned magical power from her whole body and raised it in a mass above her head. That was where the paragraph ended. In this frozen world, Featherine sat with her arms crossed.
参ったものだ。戦いを書くのは久しぶりでな。唐突にこのような展開で筆を預けられても困るというもの。
Does that explain the fight scene that you wrote that took place at the Golden Land that took like days? When I get stuck writing, I try to write in reverse. In other words, instead of starting at the beginning, I start at the end and go backwards from there. That way, it's easier to set up foreshadowing, and I can write the story with my vision for the end in mind. The only downside is that I have to suddenly start at the climax without setting up the story first.
とりあえず戦いの顛末から遡って書いていこう。ラムダデルタ卿、 そなたは私に敗れ息絶える。
Lambdadelta is gonna lose to some bullshit. Like, what is this? As Featherine said this, words were added to the massive group of letters that filled the frozen world. Filled the frozen world, that is. However, she was starting from the end, so there was a large gap between the new words and the new ones.
どんな姿でそなたは敗れるのであろうな。
That's a good question.
そなたの勇敢さにふさわしい勇壮な最後が良いだろう。こうはどうか。よくわからぬが何かに吹き飛ばされて本棚に叩きつけられ、獅子がバラバラに砕け散り、息絶えて暗闇に墜落して消える。
Wait a minute. That's not written in red.
なかなか派手な最後
What
で
is
ある。
this?
よし、
What the
こ
fuck?
れでとりあえずそなたの最後は決まった。
Oh no. How does she get away with this? The blanks in the outline Featherine spoke of were being filled up. At the same time, Lambdadelta's figure was wiped out. After crossing her arms and thinking again, Featherine pointed in a random direction. Lambdadelta appeared, blasted away by something, quote-unquote, and slammed spread-eagled against the bookshelf Featherine had pointed at.
さて、ここからこのような最後に至るまでの激しい戦いを執筆せねばならぬのだが、今の私は今日も見抜く通り少々酔いが回っている。
Gee, I wonder why.
その部分は今度改めて時間を設けてじっくりと執筆することにする。
I'm gonna oh, so you're gonna leave Lambdadelta midway because you drank a bit at from the party, huh?
今はこれにて許せ。きっとそなたに気に入ってもらえる勇敢な戦いぶりを執筆することを約束しようぞ。
What the hell is this? Featherine snapped her fingers. Lambdadelta had no idea what was going on. Before she could even blink, she was suddenly here, being slammed against the bookshelf. This is some bullshit, that's all I can say. It's like if Lambda no. It's like if Featherine isn't like the same power as Thanos. Fucking snapped her fingers just like that.
何よこれ。
What is this? This you got destroyed by bullshit. She couldn't comprehend the something, quote unquote, that Featherine had killed her with. However, this was only natural. After all, Featherine herself hadn't decided what the something, quote unquote, was. However, Lambdadelta did understand one thing. She was already dead. Streams of blood dripped from the corners of her mouth. Then lines of blood appeared on her wrists and ankles, her elbows and knees. She looked like a marionette doll of herself.
私何に殺されたの。
That's a good question. And even I don't know what happened there. I wonder.
まったくだ、ラムダデルタ卿。良いアイデアがあったら聞かせてほしいぞ。
この化け。
Still pinned against the bookshelf, Lambdadelta let her head slump. Her wrists, ankles, arms, legs, and neck each split into a separate part, and the marionette shaped like her lost its strings, falling in pieces into the depths below. Shaking my damn head, nothing remained. It was all swallowed up by the darkness beneath them.
化け物とは私を称える褒め言葉の一つであるな。
Yes, very funny.
ラムダデルタ。
エンジ見るな。お前は見るな。
Yeah, you must not look at this ridiculous, you know, this rigged moment. Shedding frustrated tears, Angie closed her eyes tight. She must not look. The Witch of the Future must not accept Lambdadelta's defeat.
あいつはくたばってなんかいない。ただ勇敢だった。
分かってるわ。あのラムダデルタが負けるはずない。
At that moment, there was a slight sound, and the golden key that hung in the air shook. The seal had finally broken. Battler grabbed at it immediately. However, at exactly the same moment, a magical tremor spread throughout the vast key room.
何？
That tremor seemed to have shaken something inside my pocket. I stuck my hand in and found that the fragment Lambdadelta had given us to return to the Golden Land had shattered.
くそ。ラムダにもらったかけらが。
惜しかったわね。もう逃げ場はないわよ。
Well, this is unfortunate.
ペルカステル。ラムダがもう少し賢く立ち回っていたら、もう5秒は稼げていたかもね。そうしたらあんたたちはその鍵を手に黄金鏡に逃げ帰れていた。ラムダが主がバカだとミコも苦労するわね。ほう。
The look on her, she's like, what the hell? Featherine quietly showed her surprise. To truly surprise her was no easy task. Yes. Look at this shit. It's like, he's like, bitch, I don't want to see your smug ass face. It's fucking battler with the power of patriarchy. Fucking did a Mike Tyson punch. That's hilarious. The Witch of Miracles, who boasted that no one could even step on her shadow unless she wished it, fell. After taking Battler's right fist to her face, she fell. Berncastle's body immediately split into dust and reconstructed itself in front of Battler, as though nothing had happened. However, she was holding her cheek. She couldn't undo the fact that she had been hit. For the first time in 100 years, she had let someone tread on her shadow without her consent. Her face was gradually filled with shock, and Battler's, it couldn't be seen. His outstretched right arm was blocking it, so his expression couldn't be seen.
Nani?
Take it back.
何を？
She didn't let the next strike hit her. Burncastle vanished like mist, then reappeared a short distance away. However, Battler only missed by a hair's breadth. Not because she had intentionally made that happen, but for real. Finally, she truly began to feel the pain of being punched in the face. For too many years, she had forgotten the very concept of pain. Very slowly, it was coming back to her. Burncastle writhed in anguish, holding her cheek. That feeling, forgotten for centuries, seemed to be hitting home hard. Battler looked at her. Their eyes met. Once again, Burncastle remembered the emotion she had forgotten for hundreds of years. So what Battler's saying is that you love to cause people pain, but when you can't handle the pain yourself, that's a contradiction. Maybe that's the right word. Maybe that's the narrative. Maybe that's the right way of saying it, but I could be wrong. And then she shuddered. What Battler saw before his eyes was Burncastle shuddering for the first time in centuries. To Burncastle's eyes, it hadn't even looked like Battler rushing at her and punching. It was as though she had been sucked towards where he stood with his furious fist raised. Excuse me. When her eyes had opened wide in terror, Battler's massive fist had been all that she could see. Of course, he wasn't capable of hitting her. Burncastle was just like a shadow. True. Trying to hit Burn was like enviously trying to hit the reflection of the moon on water with a stone. No matter how often you hit it, you can never smash the moon's reflection. However, Battler hit it, and again. Over and over. To prevent the moon from showing on the water's surface again. A fiercely thrown pebble sent ripples across the water's surface. It broke through the moon's reflection, broke through the water's surface itself, leaving even the bottom of the pond bare, breaking through everything. His certain willpower broke through to a miracle. A backwards kick that Battler shot out without even looking behind him, split through empty space. In that space, Burncastle reappeared with a foot in her gut. Better take it back now before something bad happens. The Witch of Miracles fell. For the second time, she fell. Once, it would have been a miracle. Excuse me. Things that happen more than once aren't miracles anymore. Berncastle understood. Valor was capable of hitting her. Then she fell, was slammed against the floor, got up on her hands and knees, and vomited. She threw up violently. She threw up violently over and over. Her face was covered with pain and vomit and tears and snot. Then she looked up at Battler with a furious expression and howled. And she wasn't howling at Battler.
アウローラミコがやられてるのよ。何を見てるのよ。やっつけなさいよ。
The plead for help.
すまぬが、私はラムダデルタ教の最後を記すので忙しい。私は手を貸せぬのでな。
What the hell is this?
お前たちが少し助けてやるとよい。
What is this shit? Is this one of those like top 10 anime betrayals right here? This is all memes compacted into one. That's crazy. Oh shit. Oh wait, never mind. She gotta rely on the cat overlords. Featherine's guard, the cat overlords, now formed a different constellation. Then, each drew a magic circle and began chanting.
この猫たちね、それぞれがみんなあんたのようなゲームの主人公の慣れの果て。
Oh no. The comeback is she gonna do the comeback?
どいつもこいつもそれぞれの勇壮な物語で主人公を務め、その勇敢なる物語に名誉を授けられ、アウローラの警護を許された。それぞれがね、国やら星やら宇宙やらの存亡をかけて戦ってきたのよ。あんたはせいぜい妹やら妄想の魔女やらとのゲームごっこがせいぜいじゃない。主人公の格が違うなよ。食らってくたばりなさい。ぶち込んでやれゲロカスタマ
There are many spectacular magical spells depicted at the beginning of a universe, the creation of planets, their destruction and the universe's end, all in an instant. After that, not a speck of dust should have remained. However, when the smoke cleared, there was a person standing there. It stood there with its hands in its pockets and its head hanging quietly. Its face was in shadows and couldn't be seen.
お兄ちゃん。何よこれ。
That's the exact same question I was going to ask. Battler seemed to be completely uninjured. Not only were his clothes not burnt, but his hair hadn't even been disturbed.
何よこれ。バカ猫たち、全然聞いてないじゃない。
The cat overlords silently shook their heads, sending a short report to their master.
エンドレスナイン。
Endless 9. Oh boy.
彼らの物語は誰にも邪魔できぬらしい。すまぬな、我が巫女よ。どうやら猫たちにもお手上げのようだ。
She's just gonna do her shrug is like, nope. There's nothing we can do.
何が各界の魔王たちよ。あんたたちだってかつてはどこかのゲーム版の主人公だったんでしょ。それがこのざま。恥を知りなさいよ。
The cats knew from the very beginning they had known that they wouldn't be able to do anything with him as the main character of this game board.
我が巫女よ。ゲーム版にて物語を紡ぐのはゲームマスターのみに許された特権である。それを主張された以上、私も物書きの端くれとしてそれを尊重せぬわけにはいかぬ。
Or, you know, maybe because Battler has fucking plot armor?
私は感激の立場に戻ろう。
I don't fucking know. Featherine's just gonna resign. He's like, nope. I think my job. She's doing the tuxedo mask meme. My job here is done.
役立たず
バトラよ。我が巫女がそなたの仲間を愚弄したことを謝ろう。そしてそなたのゲームを紡ぐ権利がゲームマスターであるそなたにあることも理解した。そなたの物語はそなたが紡ぐ。
Oh no.
それもよかろう。
You would destroy Lambdadelta into pieces, but yet you would bend the knee to Battler. Oh no, bro.
だが我が巫女も今はそなたのゲームのゲームマスターでな。
Why am I not surprised?
二人が同時にゲーム版を広げたらしい。一つのゲームに二人のマスターとはめったにないことだが、私はこの奇跡を喜んでいる。
Maybe it's a rare coincidence.
なぜならそなたたちの最後のゲームにふさわしいものになると確信したからだ。
立てよベルンカステル。
なるほどね。ゲームマスター同士が戦うならそのゲームに乗っ取るべきだって言いたいのね。最初からそうだと言えばいいのに。
That's a good question. Maybe. I guess you haven't checked the fine print of it. I don't know. Question mark. Berncastle slowly got to her feet and made her body melt away like mist. Then she appeared in the air once again, facing Battler.
いいわ。あんたのゲーム版のルールで戦ってあげる。ただ私はあんたたちほど悠長じゃないから短期そして圧倒的に出題して瞬時に終わらせてしまうわよ。私のお相手は誰？
Short-tempered, overwhelming puzzle.
二人がかりでも一向に構わないわよ。お兄ちゃん、私も戦うわ。
来るな。
どうして？
お前はそこで見ているんだ。そして今度こそ俺が伝えたかったことを理解しろ。
お兄
ちゃん。それでいい？アウローラ。
Okay, this time you pronounced it for once.
私が立ち会い人となろうぞ。我が巫女を打ち破れたなら、そなたらを黄金鏡へ送り返すことを約束しよう。黄金鏡がまだ残っていればの話だけれどね。
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's already been destroyed into smithereens for once.
俺はみんなを信じてる。
You gotta believe, damn it.
そうよ。ピアトやみんなが負けるはずがない。なら強砲は早い方がいいわね。
Oh, this'll be fun.
エリカ、報告を許すわ。いらっしゃい。
When Berncastle snapped her fingers, Erica appeared with a bow.
お取り込み中、失礼いたします。
Oh,
我
let
が
me
主。
guess. She already won the siege.
悪かったわね、エリカ。あなたがせっかく朗報を持ち帰ってきてくれたのに待たせてしまって。はい、お喜びください、我が主。黄金鏡が消滅しましたことをご報告申し上げます。嘘だわ。黄金鏡は完全に崩壊。瓦解し、その全てが虚無の海に沈んだことをご報告申し上げます。人間は愚か、幻想の住人に至るまでその全ては消滅いたしました。嘘よ、私は信じない。なら信じさせてご覧に入れましょう。
Uh-oh.
我が主、これを。
Erica humbly presented an object wrapped in cloth. It shone with a golden light.
何かしら？黄金のリンゴかしら？
Golden apple.
黄金鏡の主、ベアトリーチェの心臓にございます。ベアト。
Oh shit. Oh, this is very unfortunate. Well, I'm gonna save it here because I'm gonna take a little. I will take a little break from this. So when I get back, I gotta continue this never-ending gravy train. Is this the start of Doom posting when it comes to this climax? Or is there a slim chance of hope of whether there'll be a happy ending or not? I mean, then again, there's not always a good ending no matter what. So with that said, subscribe for more. See you guys later.